So you're driving home from work one day and you have to stop at a red light. All of a sudden, Mickey Mouse pulls up next to you in a Lamborghini, flips you the bird, and tells you to eat shit. What the hell just happened? Well, welcome to Bohemian Rhapsody. I know that most of you guys already know what Bohemian Rhapsody is, but for those of you who haven't read the manga, I'm going to explain it for you without spoiling too much. Bohemian Rhapsody is a stand in part 6 that brings fictional characters of any story or even artworks to life. And if you happen to meet one of these characters and you feel like you like them, your fate is doomed to become just like that character. Which means if a character you relate to dies in their story, you're also going to die in the same way. Or if the fictional character drinks piss at some point in the story, you can look forward to a warm glass of piss yourself. I'm not going to say more because I'll try to keep this video as spoiler free as possible, but that's the general gist of it. So during this Bohemian Rhapsody arc, we see a lot of fictional characters from other stories such as Three Little Pigs, Spider-Man, Pinocchio, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and even the painter Vincent van Gogh. There's a lot more characters that I'll list on the screen right now. And as you can see, characters like Mickey Mouse, E.T. and even Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star are all mentioned. But they're not actually seen in the manga, which a lot of people for some reason think they are. The truth is that most of these characters are not copyrighted or trademarked at all. Stories like Three Little Pigs and Pinocchio, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Peter Pan, and Red Little Riding Hood all have their origins hundreds of years ago from folktales, thus making them public domain. Sure, Disney has also adapted most of these into their own stories, but that doesn't mean that David Production has to make the Disney version of it. Even in the manga, you can see that Araki bases these on the folktales rather than the Disney stories. But what about those that are actually copyrighted or trademarked, like Spider-Man, Fist of the North Star, Mickey Mouse, and various others? Well, David Production has been in this situation before. As you know, JoJo is filled with references to other animes and mangas, as well as music and real-life products. One example of this is when Jotaro is drinking a beer while he's in the jail in the beginning of part 3. In the manga, it's shown as a can of Heineken beer, but in the anime, they just changed it to some generic brand that looks similar. So when it comes to the appearances of the characters, they'll most likely just slightly change it so that it's not a carbon copy ripoff, but still recognizable enough without breaking any copyright laws. Kind of like how Araki displayed a parody of the Lawson store in part 4 and changed its name to Ozen. But when it comes to the names, most of them are actually trademarked. While it's true that other people are allowed to use or reference your trademark, they can only do so unless they're trying to claim ownership of it or make money off of it. So this means that they can reference it as long as they don't make it seem like this is a manga about Mickey Mouse specifically. Did I just say that? But seeing as to how they localize the names for the English dubs and translations, I would be really surprised if they decided to go all out with Mickey Mouse. It would make sense that they would minimize the risk of any lawsuits when it does reach the Western markets. But here's where it gets interesting. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime is produced by Warner Bros. This means that they can theoretically use cartoon characters from other shows that Warner Bros. Has produced. This would include Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, and any character from the DC comic universe and a lot of other characters too. So this might be a possible solution for the problem of copyright, where they can just change out the characters that they don't have the rights to use and just use a Warner Bros. Own character instead. When it comes to the other mangas and animes that Araki references, I would think that it's easier for them to get a deal with those since they're already in the Japanese domain. So what's your take on this? I'm curious as to what you guys think and your theories about it. Also, this video is purely speculation and me voicing my thoughts, so please take it with a grain of salt. As always, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.